I am going to talk today about remedies. So, remedies, in terms of every astrologer gets this question, like, as the most common question, right? So, it's not something um, very like out of something very specific that one person asked. It's something that every single person really wants to know, and that is a remedy. But before we talk about remedies, I'm gonna say that in astrology, there are no hard remedies in terms of when back in India they will say like feed this cow or do this and do that. That is not gonna work. Like yes, that may increase good karma, and I guess through those through that kind of remedies, I think people would have old astrologers would have just been making an attempt for you to do the good karma of feeding a cow or feeding an animal or protecting a wild animal or giving charity to children who are in need, and etc etc. But a real remedy is is actually, the proof is in the pudding. The real remedy is right in front of us. It's right in front of you and me, that we see every single day in form of eclipse. And that means embracing your darkness. That's true. So what do I mean by embracing our darkness? A darkness is a shadow, and sun is your soul. Sun is if your soul is sun is also your father in astrology. It shows that wherever your sun is, it speaks a lot about the relationship between you and your dad. Now, why am I mentioning that? Is because your father actually carries the virility or the essence of your soul and brings it to this planet, and it needs light. Your soul needs light, the bright parts. The sun is the brightness that brings it to the moon, and moon then conceives it. But as long as the brightness shall remain, so shall remain your shadow. No matter how much you run or how far you run, you have to embrace that the shadow is a part of you. It's not that working on your healing or constantly healing yourself. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is embracing the darkness, embracing the fact that darkness is always going to be around us, within us. And the perfect example is in the story of the sun and sun's child, Saturn. So I'm going to give you a beautiful story today that will probably give you that idea of, or probably give you that path on how even to embrace the darkness. Because some people are like, what do you mean embracing the darkness? What do you mean I'm like, I need to work on my shadow, I need to work on my shadow self, or I need to heal myself? That is different from what I'm trying to say. Now, let me start with this beautiful story about sun and sun's son, Saturn. So Saturn, the lord of hardships, the lord of justice, the lord with the rings, the lord with the rings, the one who gets his directional strength in the house number 7 of marriage. Do you know why? Because we wear a ring. And what represents rings? The rings of the Saturn. And that Lord Saturn, he is the abandoned child of Sun. How? So one day in this beautiful story, Sun has a wife, and but the wife finds it very hard to contain the energy of Sun. It's very strong, it's powerful, it's too much, and she really wants to get away from it. She cannot take the heat anymore, and she feels burning, so she wants to get away from it. So she creates her shadow self called Chaya, and Chaya literally translates in Hindi as shadow. She looks like her, talks like her, moves like her, acts like her, but it's not her. It's a hologram of her. I think that would be a better example. It's a hologram, but you can touch it. I mean, obviously they know magic more than we do, so they create a hologram that you can touch. Let's just go with that right now in this story. And the sun lives with her. Chaya makes love to her and has a baby. and that baby is Saturn. But no matter how the Chaya is disguised into looking like her owner, who is the wife of Sun, she gives birth to a planet that's quite dark, because you cannot hide your inner being. Your child represents your inner soul. She is the darkness, so she is the shadow, so the child is very dark. Sun looks at it and gets really upset. He's like, I am the brightest star, and my wife is this beautiful, like, been given this blessing of this beautiful, beautiful woman. She's a goddess, and then now I have this very dark looking, shadowy looking, very serious faced, very grim planet. That's not like me. It doesn't contain any happiness. It doesn't have my power. It doesn't have my brightness. What happened? I don't recognize this child. And Chaya confesses to him that I am not who you think you are. I am. I am the shadow of your wife. She's just gave life to me so I can live and breathe, because she cannot contain your heat anymore. But being a shadow, I can. Your heat passes through me, and I'm comfortable being with you. But at the end of the day, I am not her. And the Sun gets very angry, and he not only abandons her, but abandons the child Saturn and asks them to leave. And that is why he becomes the last planet. But we're talking about Vedic astrology, so the last three, Uranus, Neptune and Pluto, are considered as the deities, which we're not going to talk about today because that will complicate the story. In the observational charts, we're going to take Saturn as the last planet, and then the deities. So we talk about that. So Saturn becomes the last one out because he's been outcasted, asked to go away instead of staying closer to Sun. He could have been, as close as Mercury is, but he wasn't allowed to. And Saturn becomes so angry that he decides that I am the planet of justice. What happened to me shall not happen to another. The humans on this planet will get justice to anything that is unfairly done to them. Now, what does that mean? That means the realm of justice is ruled by Saturn. So your courts, lawyers, judges, they are all ruled by Saturn. Hard work, sustainability, lots of hard work, any labor work, anywhere you will require integrity, that is ruled by Saturn. Watch the isotope of Saturn, which is the hexagon isotope, and that is represented, that shows the honeybees on this planet. So Saturn shows hard work through honeybees, because the honeybee also stores their honey nectar in the hexagonal beehive. They're not using a circle or a square as their choice of shape or geometry. They understand sacred geometry way more than you and I do. So what are they trying to tell you? That can hold the maximum amount of nectar, the nectar of life, the purest form of nectar, derived from the life force on this planet Earth, which is the all the flowers, and we turn that into honey. So we turn that beautiful pollen into honey. That is one of the most, in ancient times, considered very medicinal, still is, and it's sweet, and it's the only product of hard work, the only product of hard and smart work. Look, it's not just hard work. Observe that. They're also using geometrical shape that holds the highest amount of nectar. So they're not using a circle and increasing their task for no reason. They are valuing their task, and they are charging what they deserve. So they're using a very good geometrical shape. So the only product of hard and smart work is nectar, is honey, and it's the only product that doesn't expire on the planet Earth. Only food that lasts, has no expiry date. There has been 1,000-year-old nectar found that is edible, okay, by the scientists. So what I'm trying to say is, and what does the honey look like? Bright, shiny, like the sun. Sun can shine through it. So it is the product of the brightness and the darkness, and powered by Saturn. And without Saturn, there is no brightness, because when you realize that you're walking one day and you see that there is no shadow, you know that that day you need to embrace the fact that you're no longer alive. So your darkness shall walk with you no matter what you do, no matter how much you heal yourself. Embrace in the fact that there are edges inside you, and there are spaces inside you that are dark, and your darkness is your own, and that can be worked upon in many ways. You can continue working on it, and however, you can never get rid of it. You can turn your darkness into something beautiful like nectar, make use of it, work hard and smart, and give something to the world that never dies. And that becomes honey, the fruit of darkness, the fruit of hard work, the fruit of justice, the fruit of Saturn and Sun combined together. So as much as Saturn hates the fact that the father abandoned him, he also created life on this planet along with Sun. Sun could only hold the soul. You get it? Sun could hold the souls, but you need the Saturn to bring the bodies on this planet. So then they can live karma after karma. Saturn decides your karmic cycle. So if you won $1 million lotto today on this planet, in this birth, or you have a 6-figure income, or you have $0 in your bank account, was decided by Saturn. And if you give back as per what you should give back to this planet and to yourself, and contain your darkness in a space where you get the most, like, the nectar out of it in the most possible way, like doing charities, educating others, educating yourself, first looking after yourself, embracing self-love, taking the right elements from this planet like the pollen and turning into something beautiful, taking a knowledge that I've taken from my ancestors of India, and turning that into helping other people in understanding their life patterns, their path, and how they're going to walk on this planet, and just by educating them, showing them their life path through their own charts. I am just a source energy. Nobody. I shall perish tomorrow into the ashes, but maybe there might be one person who might see my video after I die, and they may say, like, this just helped me. I was feeling so dark inside me. All I had to do was accept the fact that it shall always remain, and now I can face towards my own brightness and turn this into a gift. You channel that energy, channel through you. I felt so lost in life at one point that I had no idea what my purpose was, and no idea. And I wanted to leave my job, and I was ready to leave it, until one day I was so confused that I asked a friend of mine that I need help, I need anything. And he said, like, go to an astrologer. And he's like, and I was like, no, it's not sensible. And he's like, well, try. You said you'll try anything, so now you're declining. And I'm like, he has a point. So I went to the astrologer, had the worst experience of my life. He told me everything negative about my life, that pretty much I thought like it's not worth living. I felt so depressed after that for 3 days in a row. I felt like, okay, I'm gonna lose my job. I have no idea what I want. I'm in my late 30s, and all my friends have everything and I don't have it. And now the astrologer just told me, like, everything that can go wrong has gone wrong in your chart, and there is no hope. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this information? Where do I take this piece of information? I felt horrible. I felt shit. So I decided that I'm gonna channel this negativity and this hopelessness into studying. So I purchased a few astrology books, just did my research, and started learning. And things started happening. A couple of gurus showed up. I started putting hours and hours a day. I started giving free consultations. I started learning for 100 hours and then seeing if I'm even getting one prediction right. And I started getting like 80%, 90% of my prediction right after a slow progress. And then until my guru told me that you have been learning this from your past life, you had to go through your darkness in the bottom of the pit until an astrologer comes and shakes you up, saying that look, you have a gift, I don't. I am, whatever I've just done to you, I've taken you to the bottom. Now get up from there. And I studied for a whole year, non-stop. I still study every single day, hours, talk to my guru. And because of that, I made a promise to myself that anybody who comes to me, I do not give them a negative to consultation. Even if yes, of course I'm going to see the negative side in their chart because it's there, I can see it. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to give them the enlightenment of negativity. I'm going to just tell them that, okay, hey, look, you know what? Make sure that you have insurances in place. And they might be like, oh, why do you say that? Okay, I say that because because of the combinations, you may face issues that you may not attract by knowingly. It may come to you unknowingly. So it's always good to cover yourself. But otherwise, don't even worry about it. Don't worry. Oh, how about my career? I'm not getting any job. Great. Okay, I'm so sorry to hear that. How about we create a plan of meditation and mantras for you that will change your vibrations. We will work on awakening the energy from within and your belief systems. And after that, you will get what you want. The mantra is based on where your moon is. Mantra is based when your Ketu, the south node of the moon, is. All that matters. Where is the south node of the moon? Where is your moon? Which constellation it belongs to? And let's figure out a mantra based on that. And that is how I give them a positive path. It's like, okay, is this not happening to you? It's happened to me before. How about let's solve that. Don't worry what your chart says, like, oh, you're gonna go into this really bad phase of no jobs. I'm not gonna say that. No, I'm always gonna say that it's solvable. The universe has given birth to you so that you can change whatever you're facing and suffering. All right. So that is the story of embracing your darkness and turning it into something beautiful. If you want to know what your mantra is, you have a specific mantra for you, and there are sounds. There are certain sounds that would pique you, that change your vibration completely if you do it enough number of times. And I will tell you how many times you have to do. Look, it's just 108 times, but every single day, 40 days. But I don't know. I can't say it in this video because I don't know where your moon is, which house it is, which constellation it's sitting in. So for 40 days, for 108 times, so which sounds of the tantra and the mantra you're going to practice, you're going to say with your voice, and then 40 days later we will go in your mind and we will say it in your mind, and then 40 days later we will. So what is it that's going to completely change your vibration? We can figure it out together and work on that. And why do I say south node of the moon? Watch my other videos, how much importance I've given to the south node of the moon. It's the only planet, or shadow planet. It's a shadow planet. We're talking about shadows today. It's the only shadow planet that do not exist. It's the only planet that can take you to your moksha, to the end of your journey, merging you with your creator. Whether you believe in Jesus, Allah, or whether you believe in Shiva, it does not matter. It makes you merge with them. And there are sounds. So they are not like a specific religious chanting. So you don't have to worry about breaking rules of your own religion. You can be parallel with it and embrace your inner being. So let's work on that, because that's spectacular. That's powerful. These things are powerful beyond your imagination. You're meant to do it. Your soul is born for it. Let's open that closed book that's inside you, sitting inside you, waiting for you to open, a modality that you may not have tapped through astrology. Astrology is a healing tool. So thank you so much. You got my links below, how to pre-subscribe, and you got my links below, and how to book a consultation with me. So thank you so much. You have a lovely day.